Everything is a skill that can be developed. And that the number one question you want to ask yourself, is this what I want to spend my time on? Because that's kind of the key piece of like, if I'm going to develop something, I need to be able to stick with it over a long period of time. And I need to be able to problem solve anytime a challenge comes up in relationship to it, so I can continue to refine that craft.
Right.
So it's this idea of like getting in our own way. Okay. So is my past getting in my way? Is focusing on other people, is that what's getting in my way? Which is still me getting in my way because I'm giving
Yeah.
my focus to that. Are my expectations way out of alignment? All the time with clients is based on where you're at. These are the problems that exist at this level, right? And that's
Yeah.
perfect, right?
Right.
You're not going to be way up here. This is where you're at, and these are the problems of this area. So
Yeah.
you got to learn those to move to the next step. And that's like perfectly fine. But it's this not needing to be the finished product right off the bat. A lot of times we only do that because I'm not feeling good enough inside. And I think that
Right.
if I achieve this thing, it's going to make me feel better about myself. Okay.
Yeah.
That's really where that comes from. But you feel better about yourself by building into that, because you start to embody what it takes to operate that way.
Yeah.
So, we want to put the cart before the horse type of thing, where it's, oh, I want all this stuff because that's going to make me feel better. But you feel really good about yourself when you get really good at something, right? Because now you're
Right.
expressing yourself to your fullest capacity. And that's always generally fulfilling.
Yes.
And so some of these, I'm not going to like something in the beginning if I'm not very good at it, but that's probably the work I need to be doing, is the stuff I'm dreading, because that's what's going to allow me to bring it to another level. And then when I start to get good at it, now I'm going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's kind of a consistent theme that we've gone through as each week when we do podcasts. It's about that. It might mean doing the work that you're avoiding doing.
It's natural. We're all wired that way. It's like we want to avoid it. We want to work around it, but it's always just the simple, like logical thing at the end of the day. That's yeah, I'm avoiding this piece. This piece is necessary for what I want, but I yeah, I have pain attached to it. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have the skills, right?
Right.
And that's why support is like very necessary in those areas, because that's all the stuff we like dread doing, right? Let's say with this work, conceptually, like I basically help people face their darkness, right? And their
Right.
darkness
Yep.
is their pain. It's the things they want to avoid, right? And so it's putting messaging behind that is approachable. It's a challenge, right? I like to think I make it as approachable and easy as possible.
Yeah.
Is yeah, these things have like, we don't want to look at them because they were like probably really painful at one point, but it's like once we look at it now, a lot of times it's not as scary as we thought it would be.
Right.
And it's like, if I'm stuck with it trying to face it myself, I may always be running with it. But if somebody's kind of holding my hand and walking me through it, now that's much more manageable, right? And so those are the things that where self-sabotage comes from, is the parts we want to run from, the parts we want to avoid. Because every time I get confronted with that pain or this insecurity or this weakness, now my system basically wants to avoid it, have some sort of workaround. But those things only get you so far. And if I
Yeah.
want to maximize myself, that work's eventually going to have to get done. Like I can't avoid it.
Right. So I think like a lot of the things that we talk about, it's the kind of getting on that nervous system level. How would we think about it through that lens of as we regulate our nervous system and get to a good baseline, like how that helps solve the issues around self sabotage?
The emotions from all these situations from our past that we keep bringing up, and that's the reason we keep talking about it, is because it's stored in our body, which our nervous system.